Today on an all-new Dr. Phil.
I just remember all the times we had, and I'm so mad that he took those away.
A dramatic story about a father who has made a transition.
He had no right to do this to us.
Leaving two young daughters angry, lost, and confused.
I can never forgive him.
Now, a shocking father-daughter reunion like nothing you've ever seen.
Can you look at this person?
I can't. He told me to call you Mom. It's just nasty. It's just gross.
What is it that is gross to you?
The fact that this is my father.
Witness the shocking transformation from macho cop to woman.
They didn't make this change. You did. Coming up. Let's do it. I want you to get excited about your life.
Here we go, in 10.
Stand by, camera 6.
If it's happening now, we're going to deal with it now.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
This is going to be a changing day in your life.
Stand by A, and roll A, track in. Go, Dr. Phil.
I first received a very compelling email from 21-year-old Christina about her father, Michael, who was a police officer, a soldier, and a loving dad. He lived 40 years as a man and now is transitioning from male to female. We're going to treat today's topic with dignity and respect, and we're going to look at the impact that it has on the family members when someone makes this choice. Now, Christina's dad told her that he now wants to be called Michaela or Kayla or Mom. Both daughters refused. Now, Christina's younger sister, Carly, feels her dad, Michael, is just dead.
For 40 years, I was Michael. Michael does not exist anymore. He's more of a memory now than anything else. When I look at these pictures, I'm looking at a relative. We're like brother, sister. Starting my young adult life, I did go and seek out every masculine macho job that I could find. Police officer, deputy sheriff, private investigator, construction worker, 2 branches of U.S. military. I did study martial arts. I became a manly man, very macho, skirt chaser, womanizer. Today I am known as Caleb.
My dad was very manly. He would always take care of me.
My father had a very large collection of guns. He had an arsenal. He was manliest of men.
I was married legally a total of 3 times. I have 3 children, Christina, 21, Kevin, 18, and Carly, 13. Since my gender identity has changed, I don't have a relationship currently with my children. I revealed my new identity basically by allowing them to slowly watch it happen.
When my dad told me that he was going to live his life as a woman, it was on my 12th birthday. He called me on the phone and told me that I could either call him Mom or Aunt Kayla. I could not call him Daddy. I was in tears about it.
My father came to me at work to introduce himself to me as Michaela, the woman. My father was dressed in black lace, makeup, earrings, and very tight blue jeans with heels. I was very shocked.
I never had an opportunity to sit down and discuss much of it with any of them. It's devastating. The last time I saw my oldest daughter, Chrissy, was about 2 years ago. We live fairly close. She's 2 or 3 miles away. I've seen my youngest daughter, Carly, 3 times over the course of 2 or 3 months. I would love to rekindle a relationship with my daughters if that is what they want.
The thought of him being a woman just tears me apart. I wish my dad would just be a man again.
It still gets to me. It definitely still gets to me. We're supposed to always have our dad. He took that away. He's being very selfish.
Michaela says that she's never had the opportunity to sit down and explain this whole concept of living as a woman. Michael, now known as Kayla, wants the family to know why Michael is dead.
When I was a man, I was very heavy, very robust. And now as a woman, I am shorter, slighter of stature, long hair. It's a very feminine person now. The change in my identity was sort of a gradual thing, and the children became aware of it. I let my hair grow out. I became more feminine looking in the face. I have always been hippie. I do take hormones every day. I was beginning to develop breast tissue. My voice changed, it's softer. The pitch is maybe a little higher. I am mostly complete as a female. I just simply need the sex change operation itself. When I was 11 or 12 years of age, I did begin to feel that I was a female trapped in a male body. When I was in my teen years, I would buy different articles of female clothing. It could range from dresses to undergarments. I never would wear the clothing out in public. I would realize it was socially unacceptable, and I would throw them away only to buy them again later on. At the time, I didn't really understand what was going on, but I knew I could not stop it. Around 16 years of age, I just got so disgusted with the way things were, I just shelved it, and it stayed in the back of my mind for quite a number of years. The turning point for me was when my children were finally old enough to move on with their lives, and I felt like that was the time where I could move on with mine and go ahead and transform. I've been asked if I've made the wrong choice in terms of becoming a woman, and I like to just say that it's never been a choice. I was always meant to be a woman.
Well, joining me now is Kayla, formerly known as Michael, and his ex, Jennifer, the mother of his 13-year-old daughter, Carly. Now, in the audience is Cindy, also an ex, actually an ex-wife, and the mother of his 21-year-old daughter, Christina. And I certainly don't mean to be offensive or indelicate with pronouns of he or she or whatever. Legally, you're still a man.
Legally.
And legally, your name is still Michael.
Right.
But you do plan to have the operation.
Oh, absolutely.
To remove the male genitalia.
Right.
Okay. Now, what all have you done so far? Hormone treatments?
Basically, it's just been hormonal treatments. I haven't had any surgical enhancement of any type.
What inside you said this is the right thing to do?
It was just a thing over time. I don't really view it as really a choice. And if you just intend to continue to survive and live, you have to go with it.
So you believe that you are hardwired to be a woman in your brain, that this isn't a choice for you, but something that you were predisposed as a woman, but you're in a man's body.
Right, that's exactly what I believe.
And you pushed this back when you were in the military, when you were a policeman, when you went through all the macho type things that you've been doing. You just kind of pushed this back.
I think that was a way of pushing it back.
Has this been a shock to you? Did you see this coming in any way?
I did not see it coming in any way. It was a total shock.
Okay. And it's been a shock to your daughter?
A devastating shock.
Have you maintained your responsibilities as a father in life and to family?
We've gone about a 2-year time frame now where we haven't had a whole lot of a relationship between myself and the kids. Primarily, I felt like that's what they wanted, so I was giving them the time. I'm sure I went about it totally wrong, but I was trying to give them the time to cope.
Do you feel like the relationships have been honored and maintained?
No, I don't. It's child support for one thing. The money that could have come for Carly has gone towards maybe more feminization.
You announced this to your oldest daughter showing up at work. In the tape piece, she said you showed up at work to reveal this to her in black lace and blue jeans.
It wasn't a surprise visit. She knew that this was beginning to take place, and I just wanted to come by and see her. And, it didn't go well, so I left.
Well, was that a good idea?
I don't know that it was.
I mean, that's what I'm trying to get to, because you have to look at the impact on others and not just your own personal priorities and agendas along the way.
This is something very hard to go through mentally and emotionally, and I admit that, a lot of things I've done has probably been the wrong things. Not being a professional such as yourself, I have no idea really how to handle it. I'm not trying to cop out. I just really didn't know how to handle it any better than I have. I just let them watch things gradually change about me, because they were changing really before I ever took any hormones. They were beginning to change on their own.
Okay, next, we'll find out from 21-year-old Christina why it feels like her dad has been killed when we come back.
I am very embarrassed to know that he carries my last name and that his blood is running through my veins. My father, in my mind, was murdered by Michaela.
Well, right now we are looking into a very complex and dramatic story because it involves dramatic change about a father who has lost contact with his children. Now, Michael made the decision to transition from a man to a woman, and in so doing, leaving two young daughters angry, lost, and confused. Now, these girls say they have no relationship with their father because he says, Dad's gone. You can't have a relationship with Dad because he's gone, and now it's Michaela. Take a look.
It's been a very traumatizing year for me.
My dad was my very best friend. I was like a daddy's girl.
I am very embarrassed to know that he carries my last name and that his blood is running through my veins.
His transformation tore me up inside.
Up until the point of my transformation, my youngest daughter Carly and I had a very good relationship, and now she just won't speak to me.
I think Michael was Carly's hero. The first time Carly saw her dad as a woman, she felt uneasy. I know she was hurt. I'm sure that she was thinking, I've lost my daddy forever.
I do miss having a relationship with my daughter Christina.
As Christina's mom, I feel anger. This change has really devastated her.
I will never accept my father as a woman.
Christina went through shock, denial, grief, sadness, anger. She cannot accept him the way he is now.
My father, in my mind, was murdered by Michaela.
When people ask me how my dad died, I tell them he didn't physically die, he just transformed.
I told Michael that Carly wants to talk to her daddy, and he said, well, that's not ever gonna happen.
When he says that, I think of him as a jerk.
I was very mad. I told my father that selfish people tell their children to call them mother to explore another gender.
I feel angry because he should be there for them.
My dad did tell me that we were being selfish because we would not accept him the way he is. He was the one that was being selfish for not thinking of his children first.
Carly has broken down a few times.
I just remember all the times we had, and I'm so mad that he took those away. He had no right to do this to us. I can never forgive him.
We just heard Christina say that she feels like Michaela murdered her dad. She hasn't seen her dad since he's made a lot of changes. The last time she did, he looked like this. You know, the hair's starting to grow out at that point, but you had not done a lot of the hormonal therapies and things of that nature. Okay, Christina, will you come out? Join us, please. Look,
Hi.
Seat right here. You have not been together for how long? In the same space, together for how long?
A little over a year.
Would you recognize this person on the street?
No.
What's your reaction as you sit here now?
It's just nasty. It's just gross.
Is it because of what you see, or is it because of what has happened or not happened? What is it that is gross to you?
The fact that this is my father. This was my best friend.
Is there anything that you want to say?
Are you happy?
Not totally. I'm happier.
You're happier now than you were with me?
That's not what it was about, Christy.
You
It
said
was
you were
like
happier.
No, I'm happier as a person. I'm certainly not happier about the distance between you and I. I never wanted that.
But that wasn't her question. Her question was, you're happier now in this state, in embracing this gender identification, than you were as a man, as a father, as a family man, a best friend in her life.
The only thing that I'm happier about is my own true identity. I certainly miss, the relationship that we had. I would love to have that back. This is just not something that I woke up one day and decided, hey, I think this would be fun to live on the other side. It's a lot more complicated than that. Certainly, I want you back in my life. There's no question about it.
You know how to get me back in your life. You don't.
I wish it was that easy.
It is that easy.
What would it take to get you back?
You gotta be my dad. You can't be this. This is not my dad. My dad is a man. My dad is a role model. My dad is there for his children. My dad is fun and fun-loving and my best friend.
You have burned bridges, have you not? Have you not said, you'll never speak to your dad again? That's over, that's gone, that's done. I'm not that person anymore. You may be different to you, but you are her father. And you have just said, because I want to change, then I put up a stop sign, that's over, it's done, your father's dead, gone, it's not going to happen anymore. I mean, that seems to me to be incredibly self-absorbed, incredibly one-sided, and incredibly insensitive. Do you know why I'm saying that? I mean, look at the pain in your daughter's eyes.
Okay. First off, I never wanted any of the relationship at all to change. That's not at all what I meant.
You told me to call you Mom.
No, I told you
That's
not.
completely changing the relationship.
I told you not to call me Dad out in public because obviously, who would understand that,
Me?
Okay. There
Damn good answer. This can get better if you'll just, you need to hear this. There is another little girl hurting in all of this. One of the things you said was you waited until they were grown up. They were, in your words, quote, adults. She was 12. We're going to meet her when we come back.
Every little girl dreams of her wedding day. I always imagine my dad to walk me down the aisle. My dad has died. He cannot walk me down the aisle.
I always imagined that it would be my father to walk me down the aisle when I got married. I do need a father figure in my life.
I still miss him as a father. What makes me cry about it is knowing that I'll never have my dad back.
If I had a chance to be a parent to my children now, I would be a very nurturing, loving parent. As a dad, I was fairly detached. The old me would have beat up a sofa and maybe knocked holes in walls. The maternal female, Kayla, is a crybaby, not having a relationship with children. That certainly put me in tears several times. I think I do feel deeper for the children now than at any other time.
Michael has been living his life as a woman for more than 2 years now. He is asked to be addressed as Kayla today. His 13-year-old daughter, Carly, is understandably very, very confused about what is going on. In fact, her older sister, Christina, wrote in because she was so concerned about how her sister, Carly, was going to handle her father's new identity. And I'm glad you did write in, and I think it's a good thing to have this dialogue. Let's bring out Carly and have her join us. Hey, girl. How are you? Now, you said that when you came out here, you didn't know if you could even look at the person that was your father and a man. Can you look at this person? Tell me what's in your mind about that right now.
I can't even see my father.
How do you feel about what's gone on here? I mean, this has got to be terribly confusing to you.
It is. Like, I don't even have a dad now. I'm furious. I have, like, mixed emotions. Like, furious, and I'm, like, upset and confused. Like, he's, like, ruined my life because I don't have a father.
You're afraid she's bottling this up and it's gonna blow.
Yeah, very much. She does not need to just keep this inside. It's not healthy.
You're doing the same thing, aren't you?
I talk to people about it, not Carly, because I have to be strong for Carly. I have to be her big sister. I can't be a victim. She's the victim. I can't be a victim to her.
They describe themselves as being victimized by what you are doing. How do you feel about that?
I feel like they are victimized to a degree, but they're not the only victim. They're really not.
Who else is a victim?
I'm a victim.
How are you a victim?
You think this is easy going through this?
You think it's easy seeing like this?
I'm sure it's not. I mean, I understand what you girls are saying, but this is not a choice for me.
I don't think you quite do.
Well, I understand what you think.
Give it a voice. Make it understood. I mean, say what it is that your father doesn't get.
If you truly thought or believed that we were the victims, you would take us out of that situation because you're causing us to be victims. We are victims because of you.
Okay. How would you have me take you out of it?
Be our father. How else?
Okay, when you say be your father, you're talking about turn back physically into the person that you knew before.
Are you not physically the person that I knew before?
I doubt it.
You have blonde hair and you're wearing makeup and women's
Okay,
clothing,
you want me to go back to living as a man to make you feel better?
Yep.
That's not going to happen. It can't happen.
Why?
Because it's not in here mentally.
So you are...
You think I didn't just wake up one day and say, I think I want to see what women live like. That's not what happened.
That's what you're
Not
doing.
at all what happened.
You are not a woman. You have man parts. You were born a man. You have children. You know, you...
Do I? Okay.
That's a good point. You know what?
Right.
Do you really have any children?
Well, what did you mean when you said, do I?
They don't want any part of me. So that's what I mean by it.
You haven't tried to contact me in over a year.
Neither have you.
Why would I want to contact you?
Exactly.
I'm your child. I am your daughter. I'm your eldest daughter.
It's my responsibility to always contact you.
You're my father.
Is that right?
You're supposed to be the role model here.
I'm not a psychologist, but it's a two-way street.
Why would I contact someone who...
Yeah, but you put up a huge detour sign on that street. You really did. And so it's harder for them to know how to approach you. It's harder for them to know how to come at you. It's harder for them to know, I mean, how do you have to understand that it's very difficult for them to relate to. What you want them to understand is that this isn't a choice for you.
Right. That's what I
That
want
you
them to
have
understand.
denied, your position is that you have been denying who you were anatomically born to be from a very early age, and that you tried mightily to do that, correct?
I tried my best to live the societal rules of who I should be because of my physicality. I just got to a point where I couldn't do it anymore.
Okay, but even if people think what you're doing is wrong or right or whatever, all of the labels that people can put on things that they don't understand,
Right.
forget whether it's the right or wrong thing to do. There is a right and wrong way to do it, okay? And that's what I'm talking about. Because you haven't heard, and I suspect nor have you felt, one iota of judgment from me about this situation with you individually, correct?
Correct.
Is there a right way to do this, even if you think it's the wrong thing to do? We're going to talk about that when we come back, and we're going to hear more from this precious child. We'll be right back. looking into a very complex and dramatic story about a father who has made a transition from a man to a woman, a transgender, leaving two young daughters angry, lost, and confused. Now, Carly's mother, Jennifer, says that Michael used to be good about paying child support, but now she says that she's lucky to get anything at all.
Carly was 5 years old when he started paying child support.
I do currently pay Jennifer child support. I am lacking right now because of a lot of financial issues that have hit me recently.
Michael is approximately $1,400 behind on his child support. My child support payments did decrease when Michael started going through the transformation.
He will not pay child support so he can have his hormones and his breast augmentation. He's so selfish.
When I see Michael, he has his nails done. He has his hair colored and cut, usually looking really good. I wonder how he pays for that and can't pay me.
He is definitely sacrificing his responsibility to Carly to have what he wants.
As soon as I can find some way of affording it, I definitely am going to undergo the surgical change to female. It's very expensive. It may cost anywhere from $25,000 to up to $50,000.
It infuriates me that all of his money seems to be going to his appearance instead of my child support.
Okay, respond to that.
I owe the money. There's nothing I can really respond to. I've lost, I run a business that's went downhill. I've lost contracts. The money that I once had is just not there now. I don't go out and have my nails done every single day of my life. I don't have my hair done every day, you know.
Well, I think anybody's saying you're getting it done every day. I think the point is...
It's portrayed that, you know, I just live this lavish...
You're done right now. Your roots are done and your nails are done. Right now. You cannot deny that.
I did.
I'm sure you have a pedicure.
I'm sure you're wrong.
Yeah.
I want to introduce Dr. Frank Lawless. Dr. Lawless is chairman of our advisory committee here at the Dr. Phil Show. You have, in fact, been involved in the evaluation and transition of many transgender cases, correct?
That's correct.
If it's done responsibly, there's always a complete evaluation and diagnostics done to determine whether or not the person is ready for it.
That's correct, because what's going to happen is that, as we've seen here, relationships are going to change, jobs are going to change, the whole world is going to change for these people. And if they don't know how to do it, then they're going to basically be suffering, and everybody around them is going to be suffering.
And do you think that's what's going on now? Do you think you're suffering and they're suffering?
Certainly.
You seem very defensive to the point of being accusatory about virtually everything that's being said. And I'm trying to keep this really balanced here, but you say, well, that depicts me wrong. Well, that's not right. Well, that's not the whole story. This is all about them, so let them say whatever they want to say. If there's something that we're missing, enlighten us, because I think that... They want to know. If there's something they misunderstand, or something I misunderstand, then tell me what it is. Because my view is you're doing this wrong.
He doesn't even care. Like, he doesn't care.
You think he doesn't care? Or what? What would he do if he did?
Maybe pay his child support?
He'd have a look on his face that made him look like he cared. That's pretty blank to me.
Because see, you can, it's kind of like there's the elephant in the living room here, where it's, all right, we're talking about a transgender situation, dramatic, sensational, but take that out of it. Whether you went and got married to somebody else, whether you had an affair, whether you just left and went to live somewhere else, do another job or whatever, historically you have responsibilities. You have commitments. That there are things that you knowingly, voluntarily chose in your life. You say you didn't choose this, but you chose to be a father. You chose to take on these responsibilities. And while you may change gender, and you call them selfish, you call them selfish. I don't get that. I don't get that.
Okay. I can't make them understand.
You can try.
Can you make anyone understand?
I can't talk to them to make them even try to understand. They want nothing to do with me. You understand that?
I want my dad. I don't want some chick that wants to be my friend or my aunt.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, you get very defensive and off-put by that, but the point is, this isn't all about you. This isn't all about you. What you can say is, look, I'm sorry, I can't give you that, but you could help her with it. But instead, you're just like, okay, fine, whatever. If she's hurting, you should be healing. If she's confused, you should be clarifying. If she's in need, you should be providing. Because you're her father. Now, you can say you don't like that adjective, but you are a responsible adult in her life that is responsible for her being in this world. Call it mother, father, somewhere in between. The responsibility is very clear. Well, you know, we're going to take a break. Christina wrote something that I think is very poignant, that I think you need to hear when we come back.
Me and my dad always watch the movie White Chicks together. My dad told me, Carly, the reason we watch White Chicks so much is so that I can slowly tell you about my transformation. When my dad told me that, I was in complete and utter shock. I didn't know what to think.
The only real sense I can make of it is that all his life he's never really belonged. He was in the military and he had to get out. He was a cop and he had to get out. He didn't belong in a marriage. I guess he doesn't belong as a dad. He only belongs as a woman.
Christina wrote a poem about her father to express her emotions about this transformation. He's never seen it. Would you share that with us at this point?
It's so hard now to think of you, to remember all we used to do, all the jokes and fun we had, your encouragement when I was sad. I miss the look on your face when I'd arrive at your place. I miss you more than you'll ever know. It's sad, I know. You'll never know. You'll never know how much I cry. Or all the tears I hold inside. I missed you through my surgery. That just added to my misery. You don't call her right by your choice. You don't want to hear my voice. When I found out you lied to me, said time would make it easy. You won't be there on my wedding day because you'd rather live your way. Oh, Lord. I'll have to fake that nervous smile when a stranger walks me down the aisle. I'm too weak to be strong. I can't believe I've gone this long. One day my kids will question me about what happened to my daddy. They'll be in my husband's lap. I'll tell them not to think of that. Just be thankful they have one who cares and who is every day always theirs. We will always have our family, and they will always have their daddy.
Thoughts, reactions?
It's an emotional poem. I mean, you're right, I've never heard it. I don't know what to say about it.
I am shocked that a parent could hear that child read those words written from her heart, and you sit there stone-faced like you're waiting for a bus.
This is not an easy thing to live through, and it is a big pain to me not having the relationship. I felt like it was gone and we would never have it back. So I've had to try to learn to cope with it.
She said, I will have to fake that nervous smile when a stranger walks me down the aisle.
I heard it.
What does that mean to you?
Well, obviously, traditionally, a father walks a daughter down the aisle, and I'm not physically the father, so...
You're not mentally a father.
I'm not physically a father,
You're
and that's the
mentally
biggest
a
thing
father.
to you.
There's nothing about you that's a father.
Well, you're welcome to your opinion. I didn't want a separation from you guys.
I believe a lot of other people have the same opinion.
Okay.
I know she does.
Well, can Christina and Carly's relationship with their dad be salvaged? And does he really even want that? Because I hear a lot of sniping going on and zero compassion or understanding. Maybe I'm missing it. We'll be right back.
I own a security agency now. I go out and patrol neighborhoods looking to deter any sort of criminal activity, vandalism, things of that nature. When I was a male officer, I was intimidating and had to fight. Now when I'm in uniform, guys would find it disrespectful to try to beat up on me. So it's an entirely different ballgame. I don't have to really get physical because they don't take it to that level.
Well, I'm talking to a family who, according to 13-year-old Carly, has been torn apart. Do you understand the pain that they're experiencing? You don't show any compassion for it. You show defensive about it. You're upset. You seem upset with them because they're upset with you, rather than saying, huge change. Your dad becomes a woman. Pass the syrup. That, I mean, you know, you seem to not. But when we say that, when we talk about their pain, you get defensive about it. You haven't written to them. You haven't called them. You haven't reached out to them. You said, two-way street. They didn't reach out to me. They didn't make this change. You did. So the burden becomes yours. Plus, you're the adult. You're talking to a 13-year-old child here. You said this is overwhelming for you? Try it at 12. I mean, what can you offer? What can you offer them?
Like I say, I would like to reopen the channels of communication with them and start talking with them and spending time with them and try to understand things together. I just don't know that's what they want.
But you'll never get there getting angry and defensive every time they're critical. And let me tell you, their criticisms, in my opinion, are legitimate. They're very legitimate. And I say that not because of this transitioning that you're doing, but because of the fact that you have dropped the ball relationship-wise. You've become very self-absorbed on this one thing that's going to happen. And when you finish that transformation, you know what's going to happen? You're going to lift your head up and look around and see that everybody in your life, everything that you've loved, is gone. Actually, not because of what you did, but because of the way you've done it.
The only ones that are gone are my kids.
I don't think you don't know how. I really and truly, with all my heart, think that you don't want to.
I want to.
I don't think you do.
You're wrong.
If you wanted to, I would have heard from you over the past year and a half.
What you said to me. I'm telling you right now, I love you girls to pieces, and I want relationships with you.
Everyone who loves me talks to me, comes and sees me.
We're talking now. We're talking right now.
Okay, they might have rebuffed you, but these girls walked out. You haven't seen them in 2 years. You're like, it could have been 2 audience members that came up here and sat down for all of your expression, emotion, initiation, anything. Even if you thought it was not welcome and would be rebuffed, they'd have to tell me no. Do you not ache to hug this child?
I just don't feel like they would welcome it. I'm just trying to be as respectful as I can of the girls. Certainly, I would love to hug both of them.
I've seen no emotion in your voice, in your face, in your demeanor. If you don't know, there are tremendous resources to support you in this, and we will guide you in that direction. But I can tell you, you are not navigating this terrain in a constructive way, in my view. And I am sorry for that. We'll be right back. I want to thank all my guests today. I mean, y'all that watch the show know how important I believe family is. And I think no matter what happens in your life, your role as parent never changes. You always have those responsibilities. Go to drphil.com. I want to have a lot there about family, a lot about being a parent. See you next time. Thank you.